Hi, this is Zach Meir with the Bulletin Board Heroes here at Zach's Traders Cafe for Friday, the 27th of June. Starting off with the FTSE 100, which has done what we hoped it would do, which is find support at 8,700. There was a risk it might actually have to go down to 86.61 on the 50-day line, like the DAX has, or the equivalent move on the DAX. But end of day close through 8,800, which we've been waiting for some days, and we could be up to as high as 90.30 by the end of next month, and obviously that would be new highs and party time all round. The RSI pushing up to 53 after a brief dip below the neutral 50 level. That was the reason we were looking for potentially the market going back down to the 50-day line, but it's managed to avoid that, so looking good. Still the case that the 50-day line is the sort of the rug pull level, but if we can get through 8,800, hopefully by the end of today or Monday, finishing the month on a better note than 9,000, hopefully is on cue for the end of July. Moving on to the DAX, and here the situation is that we're sort of gapping around actually, but we gapped up, well, gapped down earlier in the month, gapped up again, and gapped up today, which is a nice sign. 50-day line, 23,400, that's support. The old March resistance, 23,500 support too, so we've got a strong support zone there, and above that, looking for the top of the channel, 24,900. By the end of next month. RSI in a good place and doing a good thing in the sense that we've had a bounce for the RSI at neutral 50 versus 54 at the moment. The problem child has been the Dow, but even here managed to finally break through that rather sticky 42,800, 43,000 resistance zone. And a double bounce for the RSI at neutral 50, but that was the cue, or the clue rather, that we were heading higher. Now there should be much here between current levels and 44,000. Probably now looking for the 45,000 record area by the end of next month or even sooner. Best case is up to the top of that rising trend channel from May last year, which is currently pointing to as high as 47,300. The reason we might get there is just because lots of people sold out on the tariff dip, and therefore the lack of sellers means they were squeezing higher. In terms of support, 42,000, the floor of the channel, ideally no lower than the 200-day line at 42,500. And hopefully we're in the run-up to a golden cross between the 50 and 200-day lines, which should be a decent signal. Moving along to Bitcoin, where I'm surprised that the market's not already at $1 million, given the way that everyone and their mother is apparently buying Bitcoin for treasury strategy purposes. But at least we're hanging above the 50-day line at the moment, pausing for breath against that, or ahead of that resistance line there from back in May around 109. End of day close above 109. We should hopefully then be heading towards the top of the channel there, 125,000, and looking for that by the end of next month, which obviously would help the Bitcoin strategy people, especially given that the rug has been pulled in recent days, which hasn't been very friendly. Moving on to gold, and here a bit of a struggle at the floor of that rising trend channel from March. It was always going to be a punchy call to be able to stay within that very steeply rising channel, and also a punchy call to stay above the 50-day line, roughly where we are at the moment. Support, near-term support around 32.50, which is the late May support. We're below RSI 50 on the scale there, so that does suggest that we might have to probe down to the 32.50 zone. In terms of the upside, probably the earliest now would be a break above Wednesday's resistance, 33.75, as a signal that we're back in business. But at the moment, still struggling a bit on gold, and it's not a done deal that we'll head up to the top of the channel there at 3,800 later this summer. Moving on to the stocks, and didn't really want to look at Ariana, but just in case it becomes a winner, looked at it yesterday, and obviously it's gone higher today. But yesterday, great candle with the the shares opening at the low, closing at the high. We've got a rising 50-day line off the low, which tends to be a decent signal. And looking for the 200-day line there at 1.8 pence as soon as the end of next month. The other point to note is I suppose we've effectively got a bear trap island reversal because we gapped down in March and have gapped up over the last couple of days. So hopefully Ariana will finally have its day in the sun after obviously a rather torrid period in recent months, especially given the way that it should be a play on gold. Upside value while we're above that 50-day line at 1.18 and recent June resistance. Moving on to Blue Star, and here the situation is that once again hit that target line second time at 26 pence. Above 26 pence, we're looking for as much as 60 pence. A lot at stake on an end of day close above 26. Nothing really in terms of resistance there between 26 pence and 60 pence. So if you're a fan of the shares, you could be looking at having a good summer. Other point to note is we've had double and triple bounces of the RSI at neutral 50. That shows we're very much in bull mode. And also we have a V-shaped bull flag, which tends to be a very strong thing in terms of being a setup. Moving on to Capai, where we have the age-old problem of trying to work out where the big rally that we had here March to May will continue. End of day close above a rising 50-day line there at around 0.49 would be a decent cue, as would be a break back above neutral 50 for the RSI. We're just below that now. So those two signals, either today or early next week, could get us back on the road, not only to test May resistance around 0.92, but also hit the top of that rising trend channel at 1.1 pence, maybe by the end of August. Ideally, there's no fresh low below the recent support at 0.36. Moving on to Earnz, which seems to have acquired some interest at the moment. Obviously, Bob Holt, they're a seasoned campaigner, and you would always back him in terms of what he's doing. Here we've got a break of the 200-day line, which hasn't been broken actually for a long time, especially in the current form. So end of day close through the 200-day line at 5.33, looking for 7 pence by, well, over the next couple of weeks, and maybe even sooner than that, with the 50-day rising as well. And we've had an RSI 50 rebound, and obviously today's news as well. So 7 pence probably is a minimum there while we're above the 4 pence level. Onto a stock which has not been very much loved in the recent past, but it looks like Gem Resources is back in business. We've had a few days this week now with the shares above the 50-day line. In fact, the fact that they're above a falling 50-day line, it makes it even stronger. Initial target here was 0.31. Above that, actually looking for as much as 0.74 as soon as the end of August. I mean, it could be the end of July, but let's go for the end of August. Initial target would be 0.58 and the 200-day moving average. Maybe that could be seen by the end of next month. That's also the main resistance on the way down for the shares. Ideally, we stay above that 50-day line from now on at 0.2 pence. On to Hamak, where I keep talking about the now famous interview that we had with the company a couple of months ago. Here we got a B-shaped bull flag, as I call it, so looking for a retest of the 1.45 pence June resistance area, and looking for that hopefully in the next couple of weeks. Above that, big prospect in terms of the upside, 3 pence maybe for later in the summer. Ideally, we stay above the the previous target there at 0.82 while we get to the upside. Just want to throw in Eurasia, which I forgot to put on the list. Here you can see that we've had a decent rebound for the shares. Bear trap rebound from below the May support there at around 3.4 pence, and pushing through the 50-day line there around current levels. Initial target here, rather logically, would be the May resistance at around 5.15 pence. RSI at 55, so the scope there for further upside, especially while we're above the floor of the channel there, around 3.6 pence. Moving on to Likewise, which is doing rather well at the moment. We already exceeded our previous target there, around 21 and 3/4 pence. Above 21, looking for 35 as soon as the end of next month. So punchy call, but looks like a punchy stock at the moment, with the 50 and 200-day lines both rising and a gap higher today for the stock. On to Narf, where somebody sent me a message about the company saying that I'd forgotten about it. I haven't forgotten about it. The current situation is that even despite the decent update today, we've got a push through the 200-day moving average at 0.55. Above that, looking for as much as 0.85 by the end of next month, and helped along by the latest bounce off RSI 50 for the shares. Ideally, we stay above the floor of the channel and that 50-day line at 0.46 ahead of a decent move to the upside. Onto quantum blockchain, where we're guessing, this is another one where we sort of guess when the rally will resume. We've got the 50 and 200-day lines rising, which is the reason for inclusion today. We also bounced off RSI 50, so looking for a retest of June resistance around 1.25 pence, while we're above the rising 50-day line at 0.67. So if you'd like a sort of bottom fish there, that could be a situation to look at. Tungsten, obviously, back in business with the World War III scenarios that we have at the moment. And we've managed to exceed our second target there on Tungsten West at 14 pence. Above that, looking for fresh leg to the upside. And at the moment, that looks as though it may be as high as previous resistance on the way down. So towards 21 pence, that was the old July 2022 resistance for the shares. But great to see the shares back in business after what's been a rather rocky ride, one would say. The other point to note is that we've got a sort of an extended U-shape or saucer-shaped turnaround. So it does show that people are gingerly stepping back into this. Above 14.22 there for Tungsten West. On to Wishbone, where apparently all the smart money is changing out of Greatland Gold and moving into this stock, which, as you would, of course, quite logically. Here we've hit our first target there at 0.28 pence, and above 0.28 now, going for broke and going for 0.5 pence by the end of next month. That 0.5 was resistance on the way down. It's also the upper parallel of that rising trend channel base for the shares. Upside value while we hold above the 200-day line at 0.22.